What is going on, guys? Jack is a Zombie here, and we are doing another unboxing video. This is the package that I have been teasing about for the entire week. Literally at least 4 days. I've been doing the tracking updates on this just to give you guys a major tease, just to drag you guys out, because it has been teasing me knowing that this is in the mail and that I didn't know where it was. And I am not really going to make you guys wait any longer, because honestly I can't wait any longer to open this thing. I am super excited, and it's driving me nuts with it sitting right here on the table next to me. So I have my trusty scissors, I can't find my knife, and I'm just going to get to opening this thing up. I'm going to show you guys exactly what it was, or what it is. And well, let's do a little backstory. I ordered this directly from PNY, and that's why I did not have the normal 2-day shipping that I normally do, because normally I'll get stuff straight from Amazon Prime, and when I do Amazon Prime, it's 2-day shipping, and then we are up and ready to go, and I can show you guys immediately and be off with it. That is a beautiful box. But I'm going to give you guys a couple hints as to what this is, so we can maybe... Wow, there's a lot of graphs on my table. Why? I'm going to give you guys a couple hints, so maybe we can figure this out. Hint number 1. This is called the flagship. Okay. Hint number 2. This item was $699. And hint number 3, it came out on May 27th. Now, about that May 27th, I have a 980 GTX for my graphics card. And, here's some more. Right here, this is going to give it away. I have the GTX 980 from EVGA for my graphics card, and when I found out that the GeForce GTX 1080 Founders Edition would be released on May 27th, I had immediately started trying to find out who would want my 980, where I could go to get rid of this thing, and for a decent amount of money to put towards getting this guy. But I haven't gotten rid of it yet, which means that I will be able to do some live tests of my own to compare the 980 to the 1080 after I install it in my computer. But this one, as you can see, is from PNY, and I got it directly from them because Amazon was sold out, and Best Buy was sold out. Walmart doesn't even carry them yet. What are some other sites that I checked? B&H Electronics was sold out. Like, the day that this came out, it came out at 6 a.m. I think it was Pacific time, 6 a.m. Pacific time on May 27th. And I got up for work, and I'm Central Time. I get up at around 9:45, and by then it had already sold out from every single website that I could find. Like, it sold out absolutely everywhere. And that's not to mention the fact that Amazon wanted like $1,200 for a card that has an MSRP of $699, because these companies were buying them and then selling them on Amazon for just super jacked up prices because they knew how low of demand this would be. So I decided that I would go straight to PNY.com, the company, which I'm going to tell you now, don't do that, because their company is a freaking mess. Their customer service is a disaster, and they were trying to tell me I hadn't even placed an order after they had processed the payment, taking the money out of my bank. The next day they were still claiming that I had not placed an order. It is a very shady situation. I would not recommend PNY at all. I know that sounds horrible, but that's why I've always gone with EVGA, and that is why PNY can go and suck a big fat okay? That being said, let's just get this thing opened. I see that it does have the ends that slip right on open. Oh, this is the Founders Edition 8GB card. I don't know if I said that or not. Oh, man. Oh, hello. Box is stuck. We got this. Oh, we got it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Scared the cat. That's fine. Oh, okay, so first thing I'm noticing is it's got like a foam liner in it. So that's kind of cool. This is a box that I haven't seen before. I'm going to open this towards you guys. I don't know how well... Look at my camera here. Okay, so you don't really have a good angle at it, but I'm going to try and tilt it up. Alright, and let's see it. Founders Edition 1080. The f*** is that? It's from PNY. This is a 320 megabyte card. What the f*** is this? And it looks... That looks used. There's dust and what the f is this? You're serious, right? It came with, it's got the PNY installation disc. It's got paperwork. What is this paperwork for? The paperwork's for the 1080. It's got the power adapter. There's nothing else in the box. This is just bubbles. What the f? I just spent $700 for a 250 megabyte card? Gotcha! So that was my old card, and this is the GTX 1080 Founders Edition. So I'm gonna try and look at my camera here and make sure we can get some good angles, show you guys exactly what this is. So you can see the 1080 logo over here. Hello, can we see that? Oh, kind of, in the reflection here. We got the standard spinny guy. Broom, hello, broom, broom, broom. Fan, beautiful. It did come with a steel back plate. And I'm going to try to give you guys a look at the ends here too. Again, not really sure how well that's going to come in. Yeah, we don't have the best lighting out here, but here's a look at the display options you've got. You've got the 3 display ports, HDMI, and a DVI-I or D, I believe it's compatible with. This one might just be, yeah, this one's just got the little minus guy. So this one is just the DVI D, I want to say it is. But I do have everything we need, and like I said, I'm going to do some live tests with the 980. So hopefully you guys don't feel too bad for my other graphics card. I don't even know where it landed. I threw that thing super hard, and it's off in my kitchen somewhere. But we're not going to worry about that. This thing is gorgeous, and I cannot wait to start getting it installed in my computer. So I'm going to do that right now. Stay tuned for numbers. So I have the card installed, and I've done all of my benchmark testing. Compliments of Fraps. It's a video recorder. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but it also does a very nice minimum maximum average for any game that you can pull up on your screen. So I actually have all of that information right here written down, and that information is as follows. For Dying Light with the GTX 980, we have a minimum of 50, max of 83, and an average of 62.3. For the GTX 1080, we had a minimum of 61, maximum of 108, and an average of 80.2. Which means that the minimum had a 22% increase, maximum had a 30% increase, and the average went up by 28% for Dying Light from switching from the GTX 980 to the GTX 1080. That being said, Fallout 4 was a bit of an anomaly. With the GTX 980, we had a minimum of 33 frames, maximum of 63, and an average of 59.1 frames per second. With the GTX 1080, we had a minimum of 34, maximum of 63, and an average of 59.4. Now, that means that our minimum only had a 3% increase, our maximum stayed exactly the same, and our average went up by just 0.5%. Now, the reason this is because Fallout 4 has a VSync that cannot be disabled, meaning that it was trying to maintain a solid 60 frames per second the entire time I was benching it. Far Cry 4 for my GTX 980 had a minimum of 18 frames per second, a maximum of 709 frames per second, and an average of 63.8 frames per second. The GTX had a minimum of 47, maximum of 501, and an average of 122.5 frames per second. Now, the reason for the max, I'm just going to go ahead and say that now, is that was a loading screen. So for it to hit a max of 709 and a max of 501, that does not actually indicate that the GTX 1080 loaded slower. It's just a different loading screen that it hit that maximum on. That being said, the minimum went up by 161%. The maximum went down by 29%. Again, that is just a discrepancy based on the loading screens, and the average went up by 92%. But again, that maximum really does play a huge factor in this. For Minecraft, with the GTX 980, we had a minimum of 21 frames per second, a maximum of 512, and an average of 168.5. For the GTX 1080, we had a minimum of 55 frames per second, a maximum of 630, and an average of 259.3. Which gives us, for our minimum, a minimum increase of 161%, a maximum increase of 23%, and an average increase of 53%. Between the GTX 980 and the GTX 1080, and I'd say that's a pretty solid score all the way across the board, that the 1080 is phenomenally greater than the GTX 980, and I can honestly say I will not be looking back on that card at all, especially when it comes down to being... I paid the same. Well, I didn't pay the same because I got the Founders Edition, but for... like, I paid $540 plus tax for my GTX 980 when it first came out. I paid $599. It would have been $599 plus tax for the GTX 1080 had I not gotten the Founders Edition. So, when it comes to a huge difference like this compared to, like, the GTX Titan, which isn't even as good as the 1080 for a 12GB card, where the 1080 is only an 8GB card, that completely blows my mind. But that's gonna do it for this unboxing video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you are seeing... Shut up, beep! And if you guys are seeing this video with the sketch at the beginning where I had thrown my graphics card, then you are seeing this recorded for the second time, because the first time I actually recorded it as a solid video where I did a regular unboxing without the little mess up in between, because I wanted to make sure that even though I planned on doing the mess up and screwing with you guys a little bit, I wanted to make sure that if my old card didn't fit in the new case, that I would still have something to give to you guys and I wouldn't be unboxing it for the first time, or for the second time. And like, I didn't want it to be where I had to unbox it and then, like, I didn't have any footage of it because I had planned on doing the prank and then had to go back and, like, hey, this is my open box. But I did actually go back and repack it in there for the little skit that I did. I just put another layer of tape on the top of it. I hope you guys didn't notice that when I opened the box, that there was an unsealed type of tape right next to it that had already been opened. That didn't make any sense. Either way, thank you guys so very much for watching. I love and appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!